Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine and doing well. I welcome you all for your last class of international business. So far we have discussed many topics, so at the end of this session I will review some topics what we have discussed overall in international business, and I hope you have enjoyed the session in the classes as well. Last class we have discussed the global chain, supply chain, just-in-time inventory, how companies are depending on their supply chain, how important it was, why companies are not stocking their inventory, they're not spending a lot of money on stock inventory. And we have also discussed certain challenges that companies has faced regarding COVID-19 pandemic and many other pandemics as well. So these companies were facing so many problems and different pandemics as well. So today I want to discuss the last topic, which is strategic alliances. Why companies are joining together for a specific project. So why companies are joining together for a specific objective, for a specific project, why they come together as a partner with each other, why they work together. That's called strategic alliance. Why a company based in United States is allying with a company in China or in India or in Africa or any other part of the world. What are the reasons behind these alliances, and what are the challenges or disadvantages or demerits of strategic alliances that the companies are doing? So I will go through each point, why strategic alliances is important, why companies are doing strategic alliances. As we all have discussed from day one regarding international business, regarding globalization, regarding availability of products in different parts of the world. So it definitely impacted the strategic alliances as well. It definitely impacted and enable other companies to come together, work together for a specific goals and objective. This strategic alliance might be in mutual benefits for all companies, for both companies. So that's why they come together in order to serve, in order to achieve their goals and objective, and also in order to reduce their cost, and also to be a more profitable company in the world. So that's why there are many strategic alliances that happen in last few decades between top companies, between the world well-known companies. They came together with another company in order to produce certain products, in order to provide services for certain products. So that's why these strategic alliances play a key role in international environment as well. So these days most companies are some companies are dependent on strategic partnership or strategic alliance, and they come together in order to achieve a specific goals and objectives. So that's why it's also important. So recently many companies have come together in order to do to join hands together in order to achieve their goals and objective. So I want to go strategic alliance refers to cooperative agreements between potential or actual competitors. It might be a potential competitors, or it might not be your actual potential, or it might be your actual competitor. So two competitors are coming together in order to achieve their own specific goal. In this section we are concerned specifically with strategic alliances between firms from different countries. So we are not going through more details, so we are just discussing certain points regarding strategic alliances, why companies are coming together, what are the reason behind, what they gain. So we will discuss this part. So companies are coming together is a cooperative agreement. So you are writing an agreement between two companies. For example, if there are many companies, let's say strategic alliance between BBC and Shamshad TV can be an example, because Shamshad TV runs the BBC program in Afghanistan. They also run CGTV, Chinese national TV program in Afghanistan. Voice of America, I think now being run by Tulu. Before it was run by, I think, national TV, in different as well. So they come together for certain strategic alliance. Run the range from formal joint venture in which two or more firms have equity stakes, example Fuji, Xerox. So we have discussed what is what we call joint venture. So we have already discussed joint venture, to short-term contractual agreement in which two companies agree to cooperate on a particular task, such as developing a new product, or maybe running another product. Collaboration between competitors is fashionable. Recent decades have seen an explosion in the number of strategic alliances. So as we all have discussed recent year, based on international business that the companies are dealing with, so international alliances or strategic alliances has been a major topic for researchers and for also writers. So there are numerous numbers of strategic alliances between companies from different parts of the globe. They were competitors, they were dealing at the same products, they were they were actually providing same type of product. Now they are dealing working together for a certain products or certain objectives. So there are agreements. We all know there are different types. Everything needs to be very clear in agreement. So if you are working with a company in another part of the world, it's very, very important for you to read and write a very proper agreement, what you are doing, the terms and conditions, and also why you are working together, duration. Everything needs to be written there for a specific purpose. Certain areas, why we should work together, what are the reason behind what we achieve. So there are number of things, intellectual property, data protection policy, and many other things as well involved in the agreement. So you need to be very careful regarding your agreement. So now let's come to what we have discussed: strategic alliances. A company come together, joining hands with another company in another part of the world. For example, a company based in United Arab Emirates is working together with a company based in China or America, USA, or Africa or Asia or Turkey, any part of the world. So that's called strategic alliances. So advantage of strategic alliances, there are number of advantages that the writers have discussed. I think I've found I've collected four major advantages of strategic alliances. So the first one, strategic alliances may facilitate entry into a foreign market. What we mean by entry into a foreign market, if you are a company based in United States and you want to work in Africa or in China or in Asia, it will be very difficult for you to go there and do the procedures, follow the rules and regulations, license, term and conditions, everything. So it's a very lengthy process. So it takes time, it takes a lot of hard work, money, everything. So that's why some companies, they are joining together with another company already based there. For example, a company in the United States is joining another strategic alliance in Turkey. So they don't need to come here and open a factory, get license, plant, machinery, staff, recruitment, policy, tax, everything. So they don't need this. So they just do a partnership with another company in Turkey, then they are working together. So that company might work in United States and their partner work in Turkey. So for example, there is many firms believe that if they are to successful enter the Chinese market, they need a local partner who understand business condition and who has good connections. So that's business condition is also very important. So if you are working in a country, they are well aware of new rules, regulation, business condition, customer needs and wants, what they are looking, local culture. They are well aware of their own culture. They are well aware of their own policies, rules and regulation, and they also have a good connection, especially countries that they are having what we call it that there are famous in corruptions. For example, recently I have saw one video, a person which is wanted in Bangladesh. He's a wanted person, so he's doing big he's dealing in a big deals, like he's just doing big deals in other countries like in Malaysia, in Dubai, for a business in Bangladesh. So he's a brother of a army head general of Bangladesh. So he has link. So under cover of, I think it was Al Jazeera network, they went there and they have talked with him that how much. He said, I need 20% of the investment. So if you give me 20% of the investment, I have very linked with high politicians, with the government, with everyone. I can facilitate for you everything. You can start your business in Bangladesh. So imagine they have a connection. That's a different story, but these are certain points that companies are looking for. So that's why it takes time in everything. So they need a local partner. So thus in 2004, Warner Brothers entered into a joint venture with two Chinese partners to produce and distribute films in China. As a foreign film company, Warner found that if it wanted to produce film on its own for Chinese market, it had to go through a complex approval process for every film. So imagine there is a complex process in China if you're producing films. So it needs to go through a different process. You need to get approval from different departments, everything. So it takes your time, it takes your energy, it spends your money, everything. So that's why they wanted to produce films in China. So they come with another company as a strategic alliance to produce film, and it had to farm out distribution to a local company, which made doing business in China very difficult due to the participation of Chinese firms. However, the China venture firms will go through a streamlined approval process, and the venture will be able to distribute any films it produces. So that's how it comes. As I said, there are different terms and conditions that the companies are following it, that the companies are dealing with. So this company, they couldn't produce a product in China, a film, so they come with a partnership in order to produce that. Also, the joint venture will be able to produce films for Chinese TV, something that foreign firms are not allowed to do. So you see, your foreign firms are not allowed to produce films for Chinese TV. Only Chinese companies are allowed to produce programs, everything for Chinese TV. So this is another problem that the companies, international companies, are facing. So strategic alliance also allow firm to share the fixed cost. So it's cost effective. So you don't need to vary. For example, if you are based in Afghanistan and you want to operate in another country, so definitely you need a plant, you need machinery, you need staff, you need license, you need each and everything. So you need to invest a lot of money on certain things, on plant, machinery, on your factory, everything. So when you are doing a strategic alliance with another company, you don't spend money on fixed cost. The company has already been established there, so you just need to come into a partnership and also produce that. So fixed cost and associated risk. So we all know what are associated risk with the business. Associated risk might be risk of failure. You have studied that in entrepreneurship, why companies fail. So risk of failure, you fail in that market, you lose money, in many other risks that are political and economical, in many risk involved in the business of developing new product or processes. An alliances between Boeing and a number of Japanese company to build Boeing latest commercial airjet jetliner, the 787. Was motivated by Boeing desire to share the estimated 8 billion investment required to develop the aircraft. For another example of cost sharing, see the accompanying management focus. So there is I didn't want you to go through, it's a big lengthy case study which discussed the strategic alliance between Cisco and Fuji. So you see that 8 billion investment. So if they will come together with a Japanese firm, so it can be might be 4 billion, so it reduced their fixed cost. So that's an example. Third, so the third one, the third advantage of strategic alliance is an alliance is a way to bring together complementary skills and assets that we have discussed regarding assets. The complementary skills, as you can see, that certain organizations, certain companies are very what we call it are having competitive advantage in their human resource. They are having top talents from different part of the globe. They are having experienced employees, that they are well experienced in their own field. So definitely the next advantage of this is to bring new skills for your employees or for your companies, because you are dealing with a experienced employee, because they are having more experience than your company might. So that's why companies are coming together in order to have complementary skills. So an asset that neither company could easily develop on its own. So in 2003, for example, Microsoft and Toshiba established an alliance aimed at developing embedded microprocessor, essentially tiny computer that can perform a variety of entertainment functions in automobile. Example, run a backseat DVD player or a wireless internet connection. The processor run a version of Microsoft Windows CE operating system. Microsoft brings its software engineering skills to the alliances, and Toshiba its skill in developing microprocessors. So you see certain companies are having competitive advantage in certain, absolute advantage or comparative advantage in producing certain product. So if you see the let's say, if you consider, let's nowadays Toyota, if you think Toyota, they are very good in hybrid inventors. They are making very good hybrid cars. So most companies are doing strategic alliances in order to produce certain products. Like in Japan, Toyota were producing the machines by another company, Honda. Now if you see the history of Honda, how he became the started this company. So there are a number of companies producing certain parts. They are with strategic alliance with certain companies producing parts or components of a product for a company, well-known company. So if you see here, Microsoft bring software engineering skills. So Microsoft is very good in software engineering, while Toshiba is developing microprocessor. They are very good in developing this tiny component. So that's why they came together. They joined hands together to, what we call it, to achieve specific goals and objective. So that's why they are dealing with. So that's why they are coming together for a certain specific time in order to produce certain products. So as you can see that these are the alliance between Cisco and Fujitsu, who was also formed to share know-how, see the management. So that's another case which we can. Fourth, it can make sense to form an alliance that will help the firm establish technological standard for the industry that will benefit the firm. For example, in 2011, Nokia, one of the leading maker of smartphone, entered into an alliance with Microsoft, under which Nokia agreed to a license and use Microsoft Windows mobile operating system in Nokia phones. The motivation for the alliance was in part to help establish Windows Mobile as the industry standard for smartphones, as opposed to rival operating systems such as Apple iPhone and Google's Android. So you see that these are companies that they came together in order to join together in order to achieve their goals and objective. What there's you see that these are certain standards that new technologies are coming, especially now you see Nokia phone. There are so many challenges that the companies are facing. There are many problems that the companies are facing. Now you see the new technology. If you're having a strategic alliance with another company, they might transform a new technology to your company. They might they might bring new technology. You will learn new technologies, so you will learn new facilities, you will learn many things regarding your your new technology systems. So that's the fourth advantages of strategic alliance. There are many other advantages as well. You can find it, you can do more research of what are the advantages of strategic alliances that the companies are dealing with. But some authors, it's merits or advantage. There are certain disadvantages as well. Certain writers criticize strategic alliances for some purposes. They believe, some writers believe that with strategic alliances you are providing your own secret, your own technology to your competitors. So they might learn your policy, your strategy. They might take advantage of this by making their skills, develop their new skills, develop their provide training. So because you're providing them with different types of training, so you are building, for example, you're making your competitors stronger than before. So that's why these companies might use certain well-known industries for a specific purpose. So if, for example, if a brand or a well-known company in United States is contracting, doing a strategic alliance with a company in Bangladesh, the Bangladeshi company might use American company and get experience and develop their skills, learn new technology, learn everything. Then they can be a very big competitor back to a company in the United States. Or it might move jobs. Certain critics, certain authors says that it's moving the jobs in competitive advantage. For example, if iPhone is having competitive advantage in quality in many things, if they are coming with a strategic alliance with another company, and that company follow certain rules and copy their everything, then it will be very difficult for them, because they are making another competitors for their own self. So the advantage we have discussed can be very significant. Despite this, some commentators have criticized strategic alliance on the ground that they have competitors a low-cost route to new technology in markets. For example, a few years ago, some commentators argued that many strategic alliances between US and Japanese firms were part of an implicit Japanese strategy to keep high-paying, high-value added jobs in Japan while gaining the project engineering and production process skills that underlie the competitive success of many US firm companies. They argued that Japanese success in the machine tool and semiconductor industry was built on US technology acquired through strategic alliances, and they argued that US managers were aiding the Japanese by entering alliances that channel new inventions to Japan and provide a US sales and distribution network for the resulting products. Although such deals may generate short-term profit, so the argument goes, in the long run the result is to hollow out US firms, leaving them with no competitive advantage in the global marketplace. So you see, that's a disadvantage of strategic alliances. So these are disadvantages that the companies are facing. So you see that they you can give them, they might use the technology, they might use certain what we call it, they might have learn from these, develop their skills, everything, and they might be competitors for next competitors. And also they say that it leaving the US firms with no competitive advantage in the global marketplace, because now United States companies have share their everything with the Japanese firms. So that's why Japanese has used this, and they build their products regarding quality, regarding everything. Now people are depending on Japanese products. So that's why US firm, these commentators believe that if you are sharing everything with others, so it is very hard for US companies in the global marketplace to compete with each other. So they believe that it's very hard, because they might no longer have such position of competitive advantage. So that's why these companies might face some problems in the future. So that's why that's another issue. So these critics have a point. Alliances have risks. Unless a firm is careful, it can give away more than it receives. But there are so many examples of apparently successful alliances between firms, including alliances between US and Japanese firms, that critics' position seems extreme. It's difficult to see how the Microsoft Toshiba alliance, the Boeing Mitsubishi alliance for the 787, and the Fuji Xerox alliance fit the critics' thesis. In this case, both partners seems to have gained from the alliances. Why do some alliances benefit both firms while others benefit one firm and hurt the other? The next section provide an answer to this question. So they believe that certain commentators say no, that both firms have gained from strategic alliance. It's a mutual benefit. It's not a one-side benefit. But if you follow certain things that we will discuss in next slide, they believe that if you follow, let's say, selection of partner, that's the first thing. Some commentators, they believe that if you are very good in selecting a perfect partner, and you are thinking about your partner, you are doing research regarding the partner with whom you are doing a strategic alliance, what they are doing, what are their goals and objectives, their history, their background, their everything, their products, everything. So once you analyze and evaluate your partner properly, and you select a top partner, you select a partner that believe in mutual benefit, you select a partner that is not only thinking about their own company, then you might have a advantage in doing strategic alliances. If you're not having a proper partner, if your partner is not well known, if they are not aware, you don't know about their goals and objective, then there might be one side. The partner might use your skills in order to develop their own company. So next, alliances structure. So which structure do you follow? There needs to be certain structure, rules and regulation, terms and conditions, how you work, what are the rules and responsibility, duties of your company, and what are the rules, responsibility and duties of other company, safety of protections of data, and also protection of different inventions and patent, trademark, logo, everything. So they believe that this is another things. So if you select a good partner and you have a alliances structure, then this commentator's thesis will be good, that it's for mutual benefit, that both partners seems to gain. So it's not only one partner will benefit from the company, both partners will benefit from their strategic alliance. So that's why when you are want to operate with a company, if you are working in a company, in a foreign company, want to do a strategic alliances, you need to follow up, you need to see the structure, you need to see the partner, you need to evaluate and analyze the partner, the agreement, everything. You need to be very careful regarding them. Once it's clear, once everything is clear, once everything is okay, once you believe that it's in the benefits of both companies, it's a mutual benefits, then you go for that alliance, then you follow the strategic alliances. So that's what the last one, that's the last topic for your international business so far. So I'm just reviewing what we have discussed. We have discussed strategic alliances, what is a strategic alliance, the advantages of strategic alliances, and also the disadvantages of strategic alliances, what is the problems that the companies are facing. And that's, if you follow this, you might have a good partner, and it might be a mutual benefit from the strategic partnership. The last slide is regarding the review. From the day one which we have started international business, I remember when we started in the class, offline classes, we have discussed what is international business. We have discussed different aspects of international business. Then we went for globalization. We have discussed the globalization of products and globalization of market. We have discussed the global world, the globalization in recent years, what's happened with the globalization, the transportation, air corridors, many road and sea transportation, availability of different resources, technology that the companies are using. So we have discussed globalization in full details. Then we discussed the cultural issues in international business, what needs to be done, why you need to consider the culture, the components of culture like language, religion, social norms, values in these things, education, different aspects of culture. We have discussed all those that has a big impact on companies, on international business. Then we have discussed global institution, the job of global institutions like World Bank, what is the job and rules and responsibility of World Bank. We have discussed IMF, International Monetary Fund. We have discussed WTO, World Trade Organization. We have discussed United Nations. We have discussed many Asian Development Bank and many other institutions as well. After that, there are certain topics I'm sure that I forgot to write, but still we have discussed exporting, importing, different types of exporting and importing. We have discussed in real example of Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Bangladesh, China. In this country, what they are exporting and what they are importing, the number of their export and import, their deficit, also the value, which country they are exporting, the products that they are exporting. So we have discussed that as well. We have discussed franchising. We have discussed foreign direct investment in licensing. Furthermore, we have discussed global human resource management. We have discussed the different staffing policy, ethnocentric, polycentric, and geocentric policy that are very well known in global human resource. We have discussed why companies are recruiting nationalities from different part of the world, why they're recruiting different people, why we have discussed their diverse workforce, and also many things regarding global resource management. We have also discussed certain international theories. We have discussed we have also discussed exchange rate risk, exchange risks, and many international risk management risk. We have discussed all these systems as well. Finally, we have discussed global production, supply chain, logistic, and just-in-time inventory, why companies are doing all these supply chain, how they manage the supply chain, what they are doing, everything we have discussed regarding global supply chain and logistic, and also just-in-time as well. We have discussed the last topic, strategic alliances. So that's all for your international business for videos. So if we get a time or chance that we might, I think I got I think the what we call it, Ministry of Higher Education, I think, have said that we need to have 4 weeks of offline classes to review. But mostly I want all of you, wish you have followed this. but we might have practical classes or presentations and different tasks as well, so it will be very difficult to we will try to review each and everything. So that's all about your international business.